So Japan decided to join the Axis powers, so they may make a pretty big difference along the Soviet front, but obviously they're still having their hands tied behind their back because the Chinese are still holding them off. Something else to keep in mind is, again, manpower. I've been trying to kind of draw attention to this value as we continue to press further and further into the German-Soviet war. This is definitely going down for the Germans, and something the Soviets don't need to worry about as much. They're at 5.35. However, something to keep in mind is that the Soviet strategy is just to throw a bunch of army units at you, kind of infantry units. They're not necessarily, the best equipped or anything like that. I mean, if we look at their land doctrine, mass assault doctrine, perfect weapons are overrated. A large number of good enough weapons is the path to victory. So this is a good kind of showcase of how the Soviets kind of tend to use a lot of their manpower. That's why they need a lot of manpower. So they're going to send a lot of troops at you. They're not going to be the best equipped, but there's going to be lots and lots and lots of them. But if the Soviets can outlast the Germans, who the Germans obviously have, like the best equipment ever, that's what is going to be the difference maker. And we're viewing it as the Soviets right now, and they're actually winning a lot of these battles here, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if they've pushed that far. They're losing some of the wars with Romania, though. Let's go back and view as Germany. Germany still has the same plan to go after Moscow. The Soviets have modified their own plan where they wanted to kind of go and swoop up behind Hungary, but they've kind of modified that. Maybe they're just trying to keep it at a minimum. Maybe keep their goals, start to build up a little bit. Don't just jump after taking, oh yeah, we're just going to take all this territory. I think the AI is starting to, realize that's not necessarily going to happen. So there's two theaters that the Soviet AI has now. We've got the European theater and the Asian theater. European theater obviously having way more troops, 180. An army of 180, 27, and then 2 regiments. Asian theater, not as much. I'm actually surprised they even have anything over here. It's probably maybe this part of Japanese control, maybe. Oh, I think the Japanese are now starting to get pushed back. Yep, they're losing a lot of this stuff. They are starting to lose a lot of this stuff. I'm not sure if the British involved. Are the British helping? The UK, no. Because they are at war with Japan. Oh no, not this. No, not this specific area. Oh, that's interesting. So this is still China and the Soviet Union only fighting the Japanese. They don't have to worry about all the British colonies and allies and things like that. Because the Japanese only joined the German-Soviet war, not the war against the Allies. That's interesting. Let's check on the national focus once again of Germany. And of the British, rocketry. Oh, okay. So, that might mean... Yep, they might be going for some nuclear technology. That is exactly what they're looking at. It is 1941. January 7th, 1941. Ooh. Befriend Spain, befriend Norway. They never ended up invading Norway, which is kind of interesting. Rocketry. Industrial efforts 2, air innovation. So we'll see. I mean, they might be just going for they could go for both. It's not exclusively. It's not what's that word? Mutually exclusive. They could go for both. Who knows? I feel like this is. I mean, they can research the technology. Don't get me wrong. They can research the technology. However, for them to actually start the engineering involved in that's going to take some time. Atomic research, yeah. So 1940, they can go after this technology. However, for them to actually grab nuclear reactors and nuclear bombs, that's going to take till 1945. And then advanced rocket engines, 1946. But they're going to have to really invest heavily in this research if the AI really wants this. So just because they're going for that focus does not necessarily mean much. Lithuania grabbing more land back than I think before. Nothing from Greece just yet. No plans from Greece. Romania has joined Japan as our ally. Wait a second. Hungary has joined Japan as our ally in the Japanese-Chinese War. So you're just telling me that the Axis are now joining against China? Yes. Germany not joining the war against China, even though this doesn't matter. That means nothing. That literally doesn't mean anything for Japan. What is Romania and Hungary going to do? Their hands are completely tied, taking on the Soviet Union. That's another thing, though, is just looking at the German manpower reserves is not going to give us the full effect. We've got Romania with still 1.37 million, and Hungary with almost 2 million, so they're doing really well. And this is... Oh, there's Lithuania. Only 50,000. Whoa, Lithuania was just cleaned out. 50,000 manpower. That is a very, very low number. That's interesting. How's Norway doing? Norway's at 865 manpower, though, so never mind. I was wrong. That is something they've got to be concerned with. That is crazy. That is pretty bad. So let's go ahead and check on some of the numbers so far, especially for the actual like German-Polish war. So the Germans in this war, just this war, they've almost lost 400,000 troops. UK now kind of approaching 150,000. Australia's lost a good amount just compared to where they are geographically. We've got Italy approaching 250,000. Okay, let me check the Soviet-German war. Wow. Wow, the Soviets are close to 1 million soldiers, over 750,000 casualties. The Germans lost 500,000, though. So, you know, 2/3. Italy kind of contributing a little bit. Romania contributing quite a bit for that size of country. 80,000 now. I mean, Italy doesn't even border. They're still contributing so much. And then finally, let's check on the Japanese-Chinese war. I mean, they're killing so many Chinese people. They've killed so many people from China, but Japan has not made the gains that they desperately need. They needed to end that war a long time ago, and they haven't been able to put China away. So that's obviously a pretty big issue. Okay, so is this given up to Germany? Yeah. This is so Romania gave up, I think, some land. There's still a long way to go. So Kiev is worth 25 victory points. Minsk is going to be worth quite a bit as well. 20 and 25. You're going to need at least 3 cities, though. I think no matter what, need 3 cities, unless you go after maybe Crimea. Yeah, the Crimea might be able to provide to you a little bit more. So like I said, I don't think... Oh, UK really pushing forward against Italy, though. And Spain, though. They got to also keep that in mind. Spain also fighting this war, though Spain does not have nearly the divisions as some of the other Axis powers. Good amount of factories. 19 out of 19 military factories being used. Naval dock 7 of 7. Civilian factors 23 out of 23. In terms of recruitment, what do they have going on? Madrid Infantry Type 2. Production, what are they constructing? They're trying to rebuild some infrastructure. I'm guessing out of, Gibraltar and Casablanca. Gibraltar, and they're working on a military factory in La Mancha. Yeah, they're not doing too well in terms of logistics. They're losing out on a lot of equipment. I'm just surprised the British have been so effective in their war here in North Africa. Yeah, that's been pretty crazy. We're actually seeing the British lose. I mean, the Italians, I think, are going to focus more on. That's all they really need to do. I don't understand. The AI for Italy just needs to focus on North Africa. I know that they contributed a lot to the Soviet war, but they should probably back away from that and focus on North Africa. That's all they really have to do. I mean, I'd be concerned for Greece if I were them. What do they have here? So this province has a pretty, land forts. Man, just Cracklord won't stop. He just won't stop. I don't understand. Monthly growth 1.2 0.112%. They've got 73 recruitable and 1.38 civilian. Still, Minsk is a pretty good city if they can capture this. Infrastructure's all right. An air base, which is pretty big. No factories, though? Or would this not tell us? They've got no radar. Yeah, that's interesting that they don't tell us the factories and where that's located. Boom, rocketry. So then, okay, now we have to check. Befriend Turkey. So getting Turkey involved in this would be really helpful. Again, getting the Soviets to fight possibly a third front, even though actually it'd be the second front for the Soviets because they're not worried about the Japanese. But yeah, that would be huge if Turkey could attack from the Caucasus Mountains. I mean, how is Turkey looking? Turkey, not that much manpower, but I mean, okay overall. They're not lining up anything. They're not, they don't have a certain opinion about anybody. Yeah, they're going after extra army experience right now for their Turkish focus group. And the Germans are starting to push through Soviet territory again. I mean, this is promising because the British are having, pretty good luck so far after North Africa. Actually, is there dual fronts going on here? Or is the Suez Canal kind of locked off? Okay, the Italians have the Suez Canal super locked off, which is really important so that anybody can get to the Indian Ocean. I believe they can utilize this. I don't know if you need both sides controlled, though. I'm not actually entirely sure about that one. Siam still has not chosen to get... He hasn't gotten involved in the war. How about Japan? Japan losing a lot of these battles here with China. And they're really trying hard to take back the Korean Peninsula. Obviously, losing all that territory took a lot... the Japanese took a lot of damage for that. Took a lot of damage. Okay, how are we looking here? If we look at some of the conflicts, you're talking about just greens almost everywhere for the Germans. Many of these are going in their favor. However, I mean, at some point... Wait a second. Did you go to war with Finland just yet? The Soviets still have that plan. See, that right there, I don't understand. Closed city network? Okay, wait. So what are you going after next? Positive heroism. Interesting. So 15% more armored division defense. Theorists. Okay. It is time to move Olds, Lenin. I don't know what that said. It went away, but either way. So actually, what's weird? If you look from the Soviet perspective, they look like they're doing okay as well. They look like they're not losing as many battles. When you go to it's kind of interesting. Also, again, they are still modifying their offensive lines. Not necessarily, again, now they're just trying to regain their territory instead of pushing into Romania. So I guess I'm going to go up to speed 4. We'll go up to speed 4 and see what happens. But this front is huge. Obviously, it's going to take a very, very long time before we see what happens. Yeah, this is pretty big. Especially, I think that if the Nazis can somehow get Turkey involved really quick here, that is gonna be. I don't know if the Soviets are gonna be. Well, you know what they could do? The Soviets could just remove these divisions from Finland and focus on protecting Turkey. Oh, and the British are starting to have a lot of success attacking Italy. And again, the U.S. is not even involved just yet. U.S. still not involved. Boom, another big sandstorm here. Which they might not. They might not even choose to be involved. They really do not like Germany, though. Has a very bad opinion of the United States. Yeah, they really... And what about for Japan? I'm guessing it's got to be about the same. It's not, actually. Nothing yet. European, African theater. African theater. So they have troops here. So the U.S. has troops in Africa. they're not doing anything with those troops, I don't believe, unless of course they could be lending those troops, right? They could be offering those troops to the British, I believe. Do they still control the Suez Canal? Not sure if I said Panama earlier. If I did, I was wrong. And don't judge me, please. Yeah, so that will be... Oh, you know what we need to look at? We need to, first of all, get rid of this. There we go. No, okay, so at the moment, no plan. They're controlling the English Channel. Looks like because they're patrolling with a few submarines here. Or actually, don't know if these are submarines. Yeah, these are subs. They're patrolling actually a few regions around towards the west. But no plans for any sort of naval invasions just yet. Yeah, no plans in that circumstance. Oh, man. All right, so what the Germans need to do is they need to put this away. They need to put the Soviets away somehow. They push the Soviets away because I can almost guarantee you the U.S. is going to join in. And if the U.S. joins in anytime soon, at least before the Soviets fall, this is not going to go too well. Obviously, Italy's not doing well at all in their front in North Africa. Being pushed out of North Africa is not going to be good. It's not a good start. Romania's borders is looking very interesting. Not too far away. I mean, is this the Minsk siege has not begun just yet. Lithuania, I think, is back to about normal size. Naval base here. Do we have any... We've got war is going in favor of the defenders, which... I don't even know who declared war on who. I'm guessing the Soviets... Yugoslavia still? No one... See, that's interesting. Oh, so Germany... I'm very confused. I thought Japan was involved in this war. That's strange that they're not. Oh my gosh, Germany losing so many troops. Almost 1 million as well. So the Soviets have lost 1 million, but so have almost the Germans. Yeah, Germans down to less than 1 million manpower. So short of some sort of, I don't know, miracle of manpower. Actually, you know, they take over the Soviets, they're going to get a lot of manpower. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.